Hey, lovelies! If you're a romance author who wants a website that actually makes sense, you're in the right place. Before you touch a website builder, though, before you pick colors, fonts, or platforms, there's one step that will save you hours of frustration later and has nothing to do with motivation, discipline, or being good at tech. It's planning before you touch anything. In this video, I'm walking you through the exact checklist I use before any romance author website build, whether you're doing it yourself or handing it off to someone else. Not because you need to be more organized, but because planning first protects your creative energy. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to gather, where to keep it, and why each piece matters. So when you do sit down to build, you're not fighting the process. You're building calmly, on purpose. So grab a notebook or your favorite note-taking app, and let's begin. Now look, I'm not naturally organized, like, at all. Most of the time, when I sit down to write, I just turn on the computer, plop down in the chair, and expect the words to just come out. And you know what? Sometimes that works. Sometimes the words flow and it's magic. But a lot of times, I sit there staring at the screen, frustrated, wondering why it's so hard. And it's because I didn't prep. I didn't give myself what I needed to succeed. Building a website is the same way. You can just open your website builder, plop down, and wing it. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you get lucky and create something beautiful on the first try. But most of the time, you're going to end up frustrated, hunting for files, second-guessing every decision, and wondering why this feels so much harder than it should. Not because you're bad at this, but because you didn't give yourself what you needed to succeed. Now, here's the thing. You already know how to prep. When you sit down to write a romance novel, you don't just wing it, right? Okay, some of you do, but most of us need to have certain information handy. Character details, place names, and that perfect plot twist we came up with in the shower 3 days ago. And having all those details together and ready in one spot is what helps you write a story that makes readers swoon. Your website prep is the same. Even if you're not naturally organized, like me, this one step, gathering all your website materials together first, is going to make everything easier. It's not about becoming a perfectly organized person. It's about giving yourself a head start so you can actually enjoy building your website instead of fighting through it. Because when something feels harder than it should, it's usually not because you're bad at it. It's because the system is incomplete. All right, let's talk about what you actually need. In this video, I'm breaking down the 11 things you need to gather before you start building. And to make this easier, I'm grouping them into 3 categories. Know your strength, your goals, your audience, and your platform decision. Gather your brand assets, colors, fonts, images, and copy. And prep your connections, email, retailers, and legal stuff. By the end, you'll have a clear checklist and you'll be ready to build without the overwhelm. Before we go into these 11 items, I want to name something. This might feel like a lot. That's not because you're unprepared, it's because most authors have never been walked through this step. So if you need to pause at any point and come back, that's completely fine. This list isn't going anywhere. Now, let's start with item number 1, your website's primary goal. All right. The very first thing you need to figure out before you pick a platform or write a single word of copy is what's the one thing you want your website to do. And I know what you're thinking, Erin, I want it to do everything. I get it, but here's the truth. If your website tries to do everything, it does nothing well. So you need to pick one main goal, just one. Your site will still do the other things too, but this thing will be the star of the show. For most romance authors, the main goal is growing their email list. Why? Because your email list is your most valuable asset. It's the people who actually want to hear from you. But maybe your main goal is different. Maybe you're selling direct and you want people to buy from your website. Maybe you're pre-published and you just want to build awareness. Here's how to figure it out. Ask yourself, if a reader lands on my website today, what's the one action I most want them to take? Write that down. That's your main goal. Next up, who's actually landing on your website? And I don't mean people who like romance. I mean, get specific. Because the way you talk to a brand new reader who's never heard of you is different from how you talk to a superfan who's already read all your books. Before you start writing copy or designing pages, you need to know, where are these people in their reader journey with you? Most romance author websites get traffic from all 3 groups: brand new readers, curious readers, and existing fans. But knowing which group is your primary audience will determine how you structure your site. If you're not sure yet, because maybe you're pre-published or just starting out, default to brand new readers. Build your site to welcome people who've never heard of you. You can always adjust later. Now, this is the big one. Where are you actually going to build this website? I know this can feel overwhelming, but here's the good news. You don't need to research every single platform. You just need to figure out what you need, then pick the platform that fits. Before you pick one, ask yourself these 4 questions. 1, what's your budget? free or willing to invest some money every month? 2. Where are you at in your author career? Pre-published, debut novel, multi-published? 3. Do you plan to sell direct? If yes, you're going to need a platform with e-commerce built in. And 4. How tech savvy are you? Be honest, some platforms are easier than others. Right now, don't focus on making a choice. Think about the questions and know that this is one of the decisions you'll need to make before you start building. I'll go over the other decisions and how to use those answers to find the best platform for you in this season of your author career in other videos. You don't need to wait for those videos to move forward, but they will help you sanity check your choice. For now though, pencil in your thoughts and let's move on. Your platform choice matters, but not more than understanding what your website is actually for. All right, we've covered the strategy side. You know your goal, your audience, and you're thinking about your platform. Now let's get into the fun part, your brand assets. This is where things get visual. Your brand colors, fonts, and favicon are what make your website feel like you. They're what create that instant, oh, I'm in the right place vibe when someone lands on your site. And here's the thing, if your website colors and fonts don't match your genre, readers are going to feel confused and won't trust that you get them. Let's start with colors. You need 3 to 5 colors that work well together and match the vibe of your books. And the easiest way to do that? Pull them straight from your book covers. Your covers already have colors that match your genre and vibe, so why reinvent the wheel? Next up, fonts. You need 2 to 3 fonts that are readable and match your genre vibe. Here's what I recommend. 1 font for headings, something that matches the vibe. 1 font for body text, something clean and easy to read. 1 display font. This is optional and should be used sparingly. And just like with colors, look at your book covers. What fonts are used there? Can you match them or find something similar? That creates instant brand consistency. Pay attention to licensing though. Just because the designer used it on your book cover doesn't necessarily mean it's fair game to use on your website. And finally, your favicon. This is that tiny little icon that shows up in the browser tab when someone visits your site. It's a small detail, but it makes your site feel polished and professional. Most authors use their initials, their logo, or a simple icon that represents their brand. Creating a favicon is super simple. It only takes about 5 minutes, and there's a great tutorial I'll link to in the description. Next up, your author photos. And if you're anything like me, you just winced. I get it. Being in front of the camera can feel awkward. But here's the truth. Readers want to see you. They want to know there's a real person behind these books, and they want to feel connected to you, not just your stories. So you need at least 2 high-quality photos for your website. Now, when I say high quality, I don't mean you need to hire a professional photographer, although if you can, that's great. But you can do this yourself with a smartphone, good natural light, and a clean background, too. Here's what makes a good author photo. Good lighting. Natural light from your window is your best friend. Avoid harsh overhead lights. Clean background. No clutter, no distractions. A plain wall, a bookshelf, or a cozy corner works great. Warm expression. Smile. You're inviting readers into your world. High resolution. At least 1200 pixels wide, 1500 is even better. Blurry pixelated photos look unprofessional. And if you're thinking, but Erin, I'm a private person. I don't want my face all over the internet. That's okay. You have options. You can use an illustration or a logo instead of a photo. You can use a photo that's more artistic or styled. You can even use a mask if it fits your genre and you want to stay anonymous. But if you can show your face, I highly recommend it. It builds trust and connection faster than anything else. All right, this one should be easy. You've already got your book covers, right? But here's what you need to make sure you have. High-resolution versions of your book covers. No tiny thumbnails, no screenshots. High-res files that are at least 1500 pixels wide. Why? Because when you put your book covers on your website, you want them to look sharp. Blurry pixelated covers make your whole site look unprofessional. So go find those files. If you worked with a cover designer, they should have sent you high-res versions. If you made your covers yourself, export them at the highest quality possible. And make sure they're clearly labeled. Don't just name them cover1.jpg. Naming them something like Jane Smith, book cover, fallingforyou.jpg helps you actually find them later and helps with SEO. Next, book blurbs. These are the descriptions that go on your books page, the ones that make readers want to one-click. You probably already have these written for Amazon or other retailers, so just copy those over. But make sure they're compelling. Here's the pro tip. Create a folder on your computer. Notion and Google Drive work great too, called Website Assets, and put all your book covers and blurbs in there. That way, when you're building your site, you're not hunting through old emails or digging through your downloads folder. Everything is in one place, organized and ready to go. Trust me, this will save you so much frustration. All right, this is the big one, and honestly, the one that trips up most authors, your website copy. the actual words that go on your pages. I know what you're thinking. Erin, I'm a writer. I write 80,000 word novels. I can handle writing a few paragraphs for my website. And you're right, you can. But writing website copy is different from writing a book. In a book, you have 300 pages to hook your reader, build the world, develop the characters, and deliver the payoff. On a website, you have about 3 seconds to grab someone's attention and make them want to stay. So website copy needs to be clear, concise, and focused on your reader, not you. Now, the good news is you don't need to write a novel's worth of copy. Your entire homepage should be 200 to 300 words. Your about page, the same. Short, scannable, punchy. Here's what to focus on for each page. Homepage. Who are you? What do you write? What should the reader do next? About page. A warm, friendly bio that shows your personality and makes readers like you. Books page. Short, compelling descriptions for each book. Contact page. A simple, welcoming message that makes it easy for people to reach you. Newsletter page. Why should somebody join your list? What will they get? Make it benefit-focused. Make it exciting. And here's the thing. You don't have to get this perfect on the first try. Write a rough draft. Get it down. You can always tweak it later. Having something written before you start building your site is going to make the whole process so much faster. Here's a pro tip. Don't write your copy directly in your website builder. Write it in a Google Doc or a Word doc first. Why? Because then you can edit it without worrying about breaking your design, share it with a friend for feedback, and then copy and paste it into your site when you're ready. Then, throw that doc into the same folder you're keeping your website assets in to make things even easier. Now let's go back to that author bio for a moment. That's important, so I'm going to go into a little more detail here. What I recommend is keeping it to 200 to 300 words. That's it. And here's the structure I like to use. Paragraph 1, who are you and what do you write? Paragraph 2, a little personality. What makes you, you? Paragraph 3, why readers should care about your books. Quick check. After you write your bio, read it out loud. Does it sound like you, or does it sound stiff and formal? If it doesn't feel natural when you say it out loud, rewrite it. Your bio should sound like you're talking to a friend over coffee, not giving a speech at a conference. Keep it warm, keep it real, and readers will connect with you. Okay, I know this is starting to feel like a lot. If you're looking at this and thinking, I could figure this out, but I don't want to spend the next few weeks living inside it, that's exactly what the first page is for. It's a 60-minute clarity session where we translate all of this into your specific books, your career stage, and your priorities, so you're not guessing or overbuilding. You walk away with a clear plan and your top 3 to 5 next steps. It's $47. Use it as a shortcut, not a crutch. And if you'd rather keep going on your own, that works too. Now let's finish the checklist. All right, you've got your visuals sorted. Colors, fonts, photos, covers, copy, and bio. Now let's tackle the last 3 items, the technical connections that make your website actually work for your business. First up, your retailer links. These are the buy links for all your books. And I know this seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how many author websites there are where the links are broken or hidden where no one can find them. So let's make sure you have this sorted before you start building. Here's what you need to do. Step 1, make a list of every book you've published. Step 2, for each book, gather the buy links for every retailer where it's available. If you're wide, that means all of them. If you're in Kindle Unlimited, you'll just have your Amazon link. Step 3, organize these links in a document or spreadsheet so they're easy to find when you're building your site. Something else you can throw into that website assets folder. Here's a pro tip, consider using universal book links instead of listing every retailer separately. Services like Books to Read, BookLinker, or BookFunnel create one single link that lets readers choose their preferred retailer. So instead of cluttering your books page with 5 different buttons, you just have one clean Buy Now link. This is especially helpful if you're wide because it saves space and makes your page look cleaner. Plus, if you add a new retailer later, you just update the universal link. You don't have to go back and edit your whole site. Next up, your email sign-up and your social media links. These are how readers stay connected with you beyond your website. Let's start with email, because this is the most important connection on your entire website. Your email list is your most valuable asset as an author, so you need to make it easy and enticing for readers to join. Here's what you need to have ready. 1, your email service provider. If you don't have one set up yet, it can take a hot minute to put together, so go do that before you start building your website. 2, your sign-up form. Once you have your email service provider, you'll create a sign-up form. This is what you'll embed on your website, usually on your homepage and your newsletter page, but other pages too if that's your website goal. And 3, your reader magnet. Optional, but recommended. What are you offering people in exchange for their email? You don't have to have a reader magnet to start collecting emails, but it definitely helps. So if you have one, make sure it's set up and ready to deliver automatically when someone signs up. Now let's talk about social media links. You don't need to be on every platform, you really don't. But if you are active on a platform or two, make sure you have those links ready to add to your website. And here's the key, only link to the platforms you're actually active on. Don't add a link to your Twitter account if you haven't posted in 2 years, or your Facebook page if it's just gathering dust. Readers will click, see that you're not active, and assume you're not really engaged with your audience. So make a list of the platforms where you're actually showing up, grab those profile links, and have them ready to add to your website footer or contact page. Here's a pro tip. Your email signup should always be more prominent than your social media links. Why? Because social media platforms are like fickle lovers. But your email list, that's devoted to you. You own it. No one can take it away from you. So yes, include your social links, but make sure your email signup is front and center. That's where you want to drive people first. All right, last item on the checklist, your legal pages. Did you just get hives thinking about this? I did the first time I was told that I needed these. This is definitely the least fun part, but it's important, and honestly, it's easier than you think. Let me break it down for you. Privacy policy. This is legally required in many countries if you're collecting emails through a sign-up form. It tells people how you're using their data and that you're not selling it to spammers. Terms and conditions. This protects you by outlining the rules for using your website. It's technically optional, but it's definitely a good idea to have one. Cookie policy. If your website uses cookies, and most do, even if you don't realize it, you need a policy explaining what they are and how they're used. Fancy privacy policies might include these, but the free ones will often leave out the cookie part. The good news? You don't need a lawyer for this. There are free legal page generators online that will create these documents for you in about 5 minutes. All you have to do is answer a few questions about your website. Do you collect emails? Do you use cookies, etc.? And the generator spits out a legal page you can copy and paste into your site. I'll link to a few of my favorite generators in the description so you can grab them easily. Here's a pro tip. Your legal pages don't need to be fancy or prominent. Most websites just have them in the footer as simple text links. Readers aren't looking for your privacy policy unless they specifically need it, so don't stress about making these pages beautiful, just make sure they exist and are easy to find. Now go ahead and grab one of the free generators below, create your privacy policy and terms and conditions, and save them in your website assets folder. You're ready to go. Alright lovelies, you now have the full checklist of what you need to gather before you start building your website. Is it a lot? Yeah, a bit. But here's the thing. Gathering all this before you start building is going to save you so much stress. You're not going to be stopping every 5 minutes to hunt for a file or come up with copy on the fly. You're going to sit down, ready to build, either by yourself or with some help, and actually enjoy the process. And if you want to see how all of this comes together into an actual functioning website, I've got a full video where I walk you through the 5-page framework every romance author needs, complete with a live example site. I'll link to that in the description. Now that you know what to gather, you might feel the urge to immediately pick a platform and start building, but I'd like to encourage you to wait. Here's why. In my next video, I'm going to go over why generic web advice breaks down for authors, and why just pick a platform and start so often backfires. If that sounds useful, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, lovelies. I'm Erin from Kiss and Tales, and I'll see you in the next video.